Welcome back to Chow Time Pod. It's your host, Red. I got videos today from Peace World. Please like, comment, subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. Let's get that chow. It's chow time.
You know you're actually getting old when your friends stop taking pregnancy tests with you and start taking it with their committed full-time partners. My friend thinks she's pregnant, and I was like, oh my God, let's get a test. And she's like, well, like, if I am, I kind of gotta find out with him. And I'm like, oh, the guy that could be the dad? Oh, what, deadbeat over here? She's like, yeah.
Lonely and miserable.
I'm losing my breath.
Yeah, so this is a message to all the women who want to enjoy their 20s. They don't really want to have kids. They want to focus on themselves. Make sure your friends are like that too. Make sure your friends, because you will get left behind. And it will be sad.
Even if they have friends like that, those friends are probably going to change their minds midway through also.
And embarrassing and lonely. Yes. And you will have regrets. So ensure that your friends are like you. They think like you. Because you don't want to be this woman.
You guys prefer free college or free abortions?
Abortion.
Free abortions?
Yeah.
Wow. But that ooh, Shaw. Wow.
I mean, this says it all, doesn't it?
Right, it does.
The liberal women are voting with such privilege that the idea of free education doesn't really tickle their fancy.
Not anymore.
Free education. Give me free abortion. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
You know, education, I don't use that, but abortions, I'm going to use at least 50 of those.
Yeah, I need that. That's a mental illness. It has to be.
The white women that voted for Trump, you should cancel that self-tan membership. Why do you want to be brown? Isn't brown dirty? Isn't brown gross? Isn't brown like not what we want to be?
I haven't heard anyone say that. I feel like she let the mask slip here.
Yep.
Because I've heard nothing of the sorts. Like that might.
Like, I don't think people are tanning to be brown so they can look brown, like to be that demographic of people. Like, what are you talking about?
How you feel on the inside.
My girl, what? You literally just filmed yourself, watched it back, edited it, sent it to drafts to save it, put a caption, hashtags, reviewed it, and then posted that. Mm-hmm. Well, as a self-tanning girly myself, who very clearly gets injectables, which is also why my eyes are a little bit crusty dusty because I got my under eyes done today. Yeah, we don't mind people's colors, the colors of their skin. We don't come one, come all.
Yeah.
Why is that the first thing that you think about when you look at somebody?
Exactly.
That's so... One, you could use a spray tan, okay? It might help you out. I'm not sure maybe you want to say that, but it helps a lot of people feel good from the outside, but also feel good inside, you know? I know that I'm having a really shitty day. I just put some self-tanner on and I feel like a million times better. That might help your personality a little bit. But number two, you're racist.
I just got to stand in the sun for an hour and I'm tanned.
Like, the fact that you just took all this time and you want to point out that you think that people who have brown skin or dark skin are dirty or gross, that's racist. Why would you ever think that? Nobody who's a conservative thinks that. No. And it's only ever the lefties, in my experience, TikTok, I'm saying this, but in my experience, it's only the lefties who push this really hateful, racist commentary. And it always comes from white women. Why? Seems like you're projecting a little bit, because that's just, I don't ever, very, 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 very rarely get, he's watching TikTok. I very rarely get blown away or lose my words while watching a TikTok, but this was one where I really sat back and I was like, wow, you just put that whole thought together and thought that it was appropriate to post online for everybody to see. I'm
And it's a thought process that most people don't. I don't think people think, other than maybe the person that thought of the thought process.
Let's do something fun.
It's the projection for me.
And I don't mean to get political, but have you ever seen a man and a woman break up and you're like, he was such a catch. Like, what is she gonna do without him? Oh my gosh, he is so much better off without her. Never! Have you ever seen that? I have never. I quite literally have never seen that.
Okay, you've never seen this. I definitely have. I've seen guys who dated women who put them down so often that when they finally broke up with her, it was like his entire life force had been returned to him. Like, I've seen guys become confident again just by being away from their ex. I've seen guys get so used by women that they've actually cried the first time a girl initiated doing something for them after that breakup. I've seen men spend entire marriages getting treated like a glorified ATM and being chastised for not being a real man if they demonstrated anything but strict stoicism, only to enter their second marriages and see what real reciprocation actually looks like. And I've seen women completely fall apart when they blow things with a good man. You ever hear of a Chad widow? That term exists for a reason. Every single day a woman fumbles a good man by taking him for granted, testing him, or just assuming she can do better. But you're not going to hear about that because these women aren't going to tell on themselves, and men don't take their relationship issues to the internet like women do. But the cope was very cute. I do love the cope.
I've spoken about this before, but for my new subscribers, feminists have a inferiority complex and a superiority complex running at the same time. So you will hear women say things like this, implying that women are just intrinsically better than men. So they never regret, leaving a man, or they never come out worse because women are just better. But their entire movement is them aspiring to be men. That is feminism. They want to be men. They want to be equal to a man. They are aspiring to be men. It's very interesting how their cognitive dissonance allows both things to run at the same time. It's quite stupid.
Yeah.
You're a privileged white boy.
Why do you call me a privileged white boy?
That's what you are.
What does that even mean?
What exactly what I mean?
What privileges?
You're a privileged white boy.
What privileges do I have that you don't?
Everything.
Like what?
Everything.
Like what?
You're a man.
Name
you
one.
Came out of a woman.
You called me a privileged white boy. That's kind of racist.
Freedom of speech. Racist.
I mean, I'm still yet to hear a privilege I have that you don't.
Liberal white women calling white men privileged will never not be funny to me. It
is.
They're really...
White women are probably the most privileged class out of all classes in the United States. Out of white men, any other colored woman, they're up there.
They convince themselves they are minority. Like a liberal white woman will look at a black person and go, "They're the same. We're in this thing." They'll look at an Asian person and go, "Both of us, minorities."
You're good, right? Really good.
F the white guys, right?
They're going to start jumping Southern women because we voted red.
What?
I'm not real sure that that's a great idea. Let me show you these leggings that I have. These are called Lethal Leggings, and they have a little spot for your tool. So I was just sitting here, and I was going to do a makeup video. Oh.
Is that a bullet?
She's trying to tell you guys. You guys want to kind of jump her? She's strapped and ready to go.
Guys, come on. Guys, come on. I know, politics, big deal. It's not that much of a big deal. Okay, we don't have to get the scraps out. That's not what we have to do. Okay, we can just make fun of each other on the internet and leave it there.
I agree.
That's not my eyeshadow.
Now, what make y'all think y'all the only ones with that damn makeup kit? I have the same damn makeup kit. In fact, I have 4 of them. One with extra large brushes. You know damn well no one said nothing like that.
Look, all jokes aside, we hope no violence happens. I mean, come on.
I would at least hope no pew-pew blasting over this. I mean, some fist fights here and there. I'm like, yeah, that's probably going to happen. But pew-pews? Really?
It can't be that serious. But it is America.
We do love pew-pews.
The theme of this year's Women's March is We Won't Go Back. So I'm here to find out what we're not going back to. What are we not going back to?
1950.
The 1950s. What are we not going back to? We're not going back to not having abortions, that's for sure. What are we not going back to?
What she said. Back to the nonsense.
The nonsense. What is a woman?
Everything.
Everything.
Whatever she wants to be.
What is a woman? A hell of a lot more than a man.
With her husband right now. I mean, what kind of man do you have to be with a woman that thinks like that?
Yeah.
Like, you have to hate yourself.
When conservative men say they would like to settle down with conservative women, they mean that. That's true. But they're not giving you the full story. They would like to settle down with a conservative woman. They would like the end result to be a conservative woman. They would like their wife to be viewed as a conservative woman, the mother of their children to be a conservative woman. But they don't want to go out and date that woman ready-made.
Huh?
The fun part is finding...
You mean like with a child and everything?
A leftist woman, a more free-thinking woman, and breaking her spirit.
Really? You really think men out there really want to battle women and tame women to be conservative when they're liberal? Really?
That's what they mean when they say they want a conservative woman. She doesn't start out that way. Because the fun part is changing her entirely, is capturing her and making her fit.
The projection that these women talk about. Wow. Isn't that what you want to do with the Chads and Tyrones that go through your life?
Into your patriarchal mold, because that is the prize at the end of the day. And so you as a conservative woman are essentially prepackaged meat at the grocery store for hunters. These men are not going to the grocery.
There's plenty of men out there that wouldn't mind going to the grocery store to get their meat instead of having to go out there and kill it.
Store looking for their women ready-made. They want to go out and kill the animal because that's the fun part. There's no challenge in going to the grocery store and picking up a prime rib.
I do admit there probably are men that are similar to this. But it's probably a very small subset of men.
They want to stare the cow down in the face before ruining its life by changing the cow entirely. It's not a cow anymore. It's meat. And tragically, conservative women who spend the better part of their lives trying to fit themselves.
I don't know if she's trying to defend conservative women or what exactly.
Into these prepackaged molds. It's completely for nothing. Because nobody's shopping at that grocery store. It's going out of business. You are going to sit and rot waiting to be picked because you're cutting out the part that's the most fun, and that's the part where they get to be violent. So if you're catching what I'm saying...
How often are men violent to women trying to court them?
All women. Conservative, moderate, liberal, anything. This way of thinking, conservatively, when it comes from a man, that needs to become extinct. It does not serve us anymore. Why do we continue to serve it?
This is a very hard cope. Wow. Very hard. And I've seen this from a lot of liberal women trying to convince themselves that they're more valuable than they actually are. The idea that men don't go after conservative women makes no sense because the overwhelming majority of young people who get married are conservative. The overwhelming majority of conservative women who are married have always been conservative. The idea that conservative women are just single throughout their life waiting to get picked is also a cope because these are women who are focused on family and relationships. If you meet a 40, 50-year-old conservative woman, she's either going to be married or had been married because that's what they focus on. That's their priority.
Yep.
It's more likely you see an old liberal woman, a free-thinking old woman who's never been married, never had kids, because that's not her priority.
Yep.
So this is straight cap. Look, are there men who are like that? Most likely.
Yes.
Okay, there's all different
I agree.
kinds of men.
There's
But the
probably
idea that
subset.
the majority of conservative men
Hell
don't
no.
want conservative women, they want liberal women, is a cope. You're coping.
I think you read that wrong. You did not read it wrong. It is, in fact, $400 a month that she's paying somebody to work 40 hours a week. So I went and I checked the comments because I'm like, this is not possible. Turns out it's in Bali. And she's going hard after anybody that's commenting that this is basically taking advantage of the locals, being like, this is actually a lot of money for the locals, and liking all the comments of people that are explaining this. This is actually a lot of money for them. So she's actually paying a lot.
Because she is, remember, it's a different lifestyle and a different thing. If it was here in the United States, I can see why you guys are all up in arms. But in other countries, $4,000 is plenty.
This is
$400.
exploitation. If you are a local that lives there and makes that kind of money a month, then it makes sense for you to pay somebody the salary at the local currency. But for you to go into another country and pay the absolute bare minimum and brag about this poor person that's chasing your kid around 40 hours a week for $400 a month, like it's a flex while you're drinking margarita. Isn't it nice? This is why people hate you. This is why other countries do not want Americans there. Because you're coming there to take advantage of the locals. And do not give me the BS of, that's just the local price. What did you expect her to do? I expected her to pay more.
No, because then you ruin the economy in these local areas. Now that you pay absorbently more than the others, now it makes everybody feel away, but not everybody in those countries can afford those prices. So you ruin their economy.
That's what I expected. Just because you can do it doesn't mean it's right. And if you can afford to travel there and bring your whole family with you, I'm pretty sure you can throw in a few extra $100. $400 a month. A month.
Can you afford your own damn groceries? Why are you worried about someone paying $400 for a maid in another country? Why is this so important to you to make a freaking TikTok video about it? Go make TikTok videos about the prices that you can't afford here in the United States.
I think all the people defending this are the problem.
Sometimes just shush. You know, you're coming in with your privileged perspective. You have no idea what you're talking about. The people who are defending this are shut up. Shut up. You have no idea what it's like to live in a third world country. You have no clue because you are privileged. I grew up in a third world country, okay? When people came over from America, from wherever, and they gave us little jobs, we loved it because we needed it, because there aren't that many jobs going around in these third world countries. So if they're paying, whatever ways they're paying, $400 in Bali money, that might be like around the minimum wage. They don't care. They don't care. They would rather those people are there than not there.
Correct.
Because it's putting a little bit extra money in their pocket. And I'm telling you, as someone who grew up in a third world country, very much appreciated. So I know this is difficult for women like yourself. Remove your privilege, and try to view it from the person who's actually working's perspective. What would you advise it? Okay, so
Story time. So when I went to Cambodia in 2009, that was the first time I went to go visit after I came to the United States. And almost every little thing, we just hired someone to do it. So there was laundry and things for me to like wash my clothes and stuff. Instead of me washing no, we just hired someone to do it. And you know why we just hired everybody to do these things? Because it was jobs. It was jobs for everybody around us. Instead of just us giving money or donating money to these people, we just gave them jobs. It might not be a permanent job, but it was like, you know, a little quick job that they can do and make money right away. Every single person that we did it with loved us, appreciated us. They appreciated the money. They appreciated the work because, yes, you're right. There's that other aspect that not everybody wants free money. People want to earn their way too. They don't want to seem like some panhandlers. So they don't mind washing clothes, ironing it, and all these things for you. You know, like it's for a few bucks. Because that's a few bucks that they didn't have before and work that they didn't have before. That is how it's viewed in those countries. That's just my own anecdotal.
If the lady says, I can only afford 400, what? Would you just say don't go? Would you tell her just don't go? Just don't give them any money? Like,
it is so crazy to me how celebrated specifically women are when they get engaged, and how much it proves that society still views like marriage, especially between a man and a woman, as like the ultimate milestone and the ultimate thing worth celebrating, even if we don't realize that we're doing that. I've been sitting on these thoughts for so long, and when I think about it for too long, it honestly upsets me, because I'm not saying that we shouldn't be celebrating engaged couples and that I don't want the attention or the celebration, because frankly I love it. But I released a book with a Big 5 publisher at the age of 25 years old last year. And I've gone to grad school and undergrad, and there are people who are getting PhDs and becoming doctors and surgeons and going to med school. And all of those milestones combined don't even get nearly as celebrated or as much attention or as much affirmation or as much validation as when you get engaged. Like,
why does it matter to you? Why does it matter to you what other people value in their lives? That's weird.
Not even close, not even close. It just really does illuminate what society deems is worth celebrating and what milestones society views as like, as important. And even though we feel like we're getting away from that heteronormative view of the world, it's really still so ingrained in our societal norm. Because like, I'm not saying that I'm above this at all. I freak the fuck out when someone gets engaged. And I'm not saying I don't want to be excited for people and I don't want to celebrate people. I'm saying that—
So you're actually part of it. You actually think so too.
The importance that we put on it is far, 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 far more than any other achievement or milestone that you could possibly attain. And is it really an achievement? Like, the worst people in the world get married. Like, sure, like—
Yeah, the worst people in the world get degrees. The worst people in the world, like, what are you actually saying?
You were dating and you were putting in effort.
There's plenty of bad doctors out there.
And like, you're the version of yourself that was meant to meet this person. But is it an achievement, or is it more of a milestone that's treated like an achievement? When I think too much about it,
Aren't milestones achievements? Aren't those considered the same thing? Or am I being stupid here? Is my English stupid?
Start to get really frustrated, because I'm like, fuck, like, so many people choose not to get married, don't want to, or don't, and they will never be this celebrated in their entire lives because they don't want to get married.
And it's their choice. So why does they need to be celebrated for? Because that everybody needs this celebration in their life, some way, shape, or form, or what? What the fuck?
Make it make sense.
You
like,
make
she
it
got a
make
PhD.
sense.
Who the fuck cares that she didn't get married?
And who the fuck cares about a PhD? Who the hell cares about a PhD? These are the type of people that want to remove all tradition from society, because tradition is bad, right? Like I said, people like this are so insecure in their own ideas that they can't just be their ideas. They're confused to why everybody doesn't think like them. They want everybody to think like them. And because everybody doesn't, it upsets them. And it upsets them because they're not actually that secure.
People are free to think and do whatever the hell they want. It's not like I tell you guys you have to do anything. I just tell you guys to avoid certain things. And what I tell you is, what I think is important. Family and kids. Not everybody thinks that, which is okay. There's plenty of MGTOW guys that would never want to settle down with a woman, nor do they want kids. And I'm perfectly happy that you decide that, because that's the great thing about being human. You get to choose. Please like, comment, subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. And I'll catch you guys next time.